Hey, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of the Small Success Podcast. I'm Pam Downing. I'm the Operations and Marketing Strategist here at Larison Media. You guys, I'm so excited for today. We're continuing our series of interviewing small business owners. But before I go any further, I want to introduce my guests in the studio. And I'll start with someone who's not a guest, my co-host, Drew Larison.
Hey, everybody. How you doing? Drew Larison, founder and creative director of Larison Media. And I'm pumped.
Thanks.
This podcast
Drew.
is good.
So happy.
It hasn't even begun, and it's good. We were talking a little bit before we started recording, and I'm ready to go 9 rounds or something right now.
Okay, I'll introduce our guests of honor today. In the studio with us, we have Coach Law and his wife, Luanda.
All right. How y'all doing?
Hello, how are you all doing?
Thanks so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we're really excited about this conversation. So let's start at the beginning. Tell us about yourself. Tell us about your background. And before he begins, I'll add, Coach Law owns and operates IronFists Boxing Club and Learning Center right here in Kokomo, Indiana. So with that said, tell us about your background and how you began.
Well, I'm from Chicago, Illinois, and I came to Kokomo in 2000. And, I met LaWanda Levine, and, we had our first child, which is Nevaeh Maya Arrington. And then in 2006, we had the young champ, known to everybody as Yasin Iron Fist Arrington.
Okay,
yes. And, from there, when Yasin was born, I had the thought of him doing MMA because in 2006, MMA was really thriving. It was a big deal. So I was telling his mom while he was in her stomach that he's going to be a fighter. Okay. He's going to be a fighter.
He's a champ.
And she's like, no.
That's a good mom.
Not fighting. And I'm like, yes, he is. So when he came to the world, it was 2 hours outside of the womb. And my brother came to the hospital. And the nurse, the babies are all in a little room together.
Yeah.
So the nurse, she picked him up. And he grabbed her name tag, like seriously. And she started to pry his fingers off, and he locked back down. And she said, this baby has one of the strongest grips out of any baby I have dealt with. And I've been doing this for years.
Wow.
So I looked at my brother, and we like Iron Fists. Like seriously, right? So 2 years later, his mom was getting ready for an interview. She was ironing her clothes, and she turned her back for 1 second, and he moved so fast, he grabbed the iron.
As a 2-year-old?
As a 2-year-old. He grabbed the hot iron, and he went into shock, and he just held it. Okay? He had a 3rd-degree burn on his hand. All right? So he had to get rushed down to Riley's Hospital, which is Peyton Manning today.
Yeah.
So he had a major skin graft. All right? And they took skin from his thigh and put it on the palm of his hand. And so it started to grow into a claw because the skin started to harden up. And he had to go back. It was mainly his pinky finger had started to curl into a claw. So we had to take him back down there to have another skin graft where they took skin from his stomach. And they took a pin and put it in his pinky finger. Now, 2 days after the surgery, when he got home, he pulled the pin out. Yeah, we wake up in the morning, Champ pulled the pin out. All right, so we get him back down there, and they say this is too much trauma for a 2-year-old. We're not going to take him through this anymore. So now, Mom and Dad, it's up to you guys to make sure that pinky in his hand does not grow into a claw. So we had to do his physical therapy at home 3-4 times a day, putting him between the legs, stretching his hand out, and just think, from then to now, he uses that hand. All right, Yasin is a national champion. All right, he's a 3-time Indiana state champion, and he's currently ranked number 8 in the country.
And it's so ironic that he grabbed an iron.
Now that's what really really tossed my mind. Okay.
Yeah, the irony wasn't left.
Yes, it was not over. The young guy grabbed the iron and he just held it. So I'm into Marvel comics. I'm into the whole superhero thing. So I always tell them like that iron powered you up. That's why you didn't let it go, because you was powered.
That was the
up.
Spider bite for Spider-Man. It was his iron.
Really?
Yeah, that's so cool.
Yeah. So now
how old is he now?
He's 13.
13.
Yes, he's in 8th grade. He goes to Central Middle School.
Okay.
And he get good grades. You know, he's a real good young guy, you know, all the way around the board. I mean, Champ still watch cartoons, you know, but you get in the ring with him, you're going to see a different okay? Like, but, you know, once that happened to my son, you know, I did not lose the thought of him, you know, fighting and training. So when he was 4, you know, really 3, once his hand healed all the way up, I started him doing push-ups and jumping jacks and things of that nature. Really started slow bringing him along to the fight game. Now, 4 and 5, we in it. You know, he's in it. He's really, you know, catching on and really taking to it. It was something that he always wanted to do too. You know, it wasn't like I was forcing it on him.
Yeah.
And everybody in the family thought that, well, he's doing too much. He's doing too much, you know, and he wanted it. And I sat him down and I asked him, I say, Champ, is this something that you really want to do? Yes, it is, Dad. And, you know, his mom for a while thought that I was forcing him.
Yeah.
You know, of course, I mean, that's what a mother's supposed to think, right?
I'm
That's
like,
her baby.
yep.
But
Don't
you
force
know,
my kid to fight
right,
people.
you know, but it was all on Champ. And, you know, he started competing when he was 8, okay? And that was over at the Carver Center. 2014, the Carver Center opened up the boxing
Okay.
I would say, you know, the
area and
program,
the
program, the boxing program is the word I'm looking for. So Champ was the first boxer over there, okay? And at that time, I wasn't a legit trainer. I wasn't, you know, sanctioned through USA Boxing,
Okay.
but I still had the passion for it, and I was his trainer at home. So when he went up there, they had a trainer, which is his uncle, Dwayne Levine. He was training him up there, all right? And I would always be on location, putting my 2 cents in, like, no, I don't think you should do it like that. No, no. But, you know, when we went to the shows and different things like that, you know, I wasn't able to be in his corner. But I still have every fight, and I will let you guys hear. You can hear me over everybody. I'm close, but I wasn't in the corner. And I say, you know what? I want to take my son across the country to compete. You know, he was that good. And Dwayne wasn't able to go out of state at that time due to his other business and his jobs and things like that. And the Carver Center, you know, they wasn't so game for moving around like that. So I got licensed up and I took over the whole program. I'll start going door to door, knocking on the doors, asking different parents of my son, his friends. I asked them, hey, can your daughter come and box? You know, we have this program over at the Carver Center. Let's do it. And so, you know, I got the children in there and we started training. We started competing. We winning. We doing our thing. And for some reason, you know, I went my own route. All right. But we had a nice, you know, time over there. We got some good work done, but it was just time to do my own thing.
Yep.
Sure.
Okay. So we did IronFists Boxing Club and Learning Center, which I always had that, you know, title. All right. Even when I was at the Carver Center, we were still saying Team Iron Fists, you know, because I always had my own brand. And I always knew that one day that I would step out and do my own thing because this is my son.
Yeah.
You know, so once we, December 1st, 2018, we opened up. And since then, you know, since December 1st, 2018, you know, like I say 200-300 children and adults have been through the doors. Okay. And right now we have, I say 10 active competitors in the gym. All right. Now we have the numbers as far as our attendance is like 50 to 60. Okay. On a regular, but the competitors is 10. All right.
Okay.
And you have to have a passport book in order to compete, meaning you have to be sanctioned through USA Boxing. All right. Now, it's one thing to be signed up with me, but to actually compete,
It's a different step.
It's different criteria. So with that being said, our fighters, we have 4 state champions in the gym, 2 of them being 3-time state champions, 1 being my son and 1 being Elijah Merriweather. Okay, and then we have Jasir Capers. He's an Indiana State champion. And Elliot Faison. He is also an Indiana State champion. And Yasin and Elijah are national champions.
Wow.
Yeah, so we do a lot of competing. We travel the country. We have been to Reno, Nevada. We've been down in Kentucky, Ohio, Atlanta. I mean, we travel all over, Chicago, and we compete everywhere. You know, and we are currently a 501c3, a nonprofit organization. And, you know, we depend on the community, you know, to function. You know, like that is all on the community, how far that we can go.
Yeah.
All right. Because we need the support financially. You know, I mean, I'm doing everything myself, like far as finance. And it's tough.
Yeah.
But we still get the job done.
So before we jump into like the business aspect, when you were talking to your son in her womb and said this kid's going to be a fighter,
Yes.
did you have a background of boxing? Where did this interest, just because MMA was popular? That's literally how it all started. Are you a boxer?
No, I'm not a boxer.
Wrestling?
Okay, I wrestle.
Oh, you
okay?
Yes,
I wrestled coming up in school, but I was always a fighter. Like I
Okay.
say, I'm from Chicago.
Yeah.
Okay, and we had to fight on the way to school and from school. And you know, I grew up in a house with 6 brothers. So we're fighting over chicken.
Yeah,
We're fighting
yeah.
over who get that last slice of pizza.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, so it was always fighting. And we love Mike Tyson. You know, coming up, we love Mike Tyson. We had the video game Tyson Punch
Yep.
Out. Yeah, we had the whole 9.
My wife bought me one of the, you can buy a old school Nintendo, like it's really small, but the games are built in now.
Right.
And that's on there. I was playing that the other day with my son.
Yes,
yeah.
I
The
love
old school
it.
Nintendo
Yes, I
version.
love
Yeah.
it. And so, you know, we used to slap box, all right? We used to make brackets in my driveway. Like, seriously. We used to make brackets and we used to slap box. Now, slap boxing, you better have some type of skills. You better have some head movement because
Right.
a slap, to me, is worse than getting punched. All right? Like, that slap, it's just something about that sting.
Yeah.
You know, so I never wanted to be slapped. So, you know, I was always trying to move, and just the technical aspect of that,
Yeah.
you know, it stuck with me. So, you know, once my son was conceived and he was brought into the world, I knew once the MMA didn't take, we was going straight for boxing. So, you know, the passion was always there for boxing.
So doesn't do MMA. He's just boxing. He's strict boxing.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
straight boxing.
Why no
straight
interest in MMA?
Because now I used to watch MMA. You know, like I watched the very first fight. You know, when it was the blood sport. Okay, when the Hoist Gracie and Ken Shamrock. You know, we old school with it, and you know that's when they used to fight 5 times in one setting in order to get to the championship round. And they didn't, it was no rules.
Yeah.
All right. It was, you know, you could come in bare knuckles.
It was street fighting in an octagon.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Like, that's really
There you
all it
go.
was. Yeah.
So that also caught me.
Not my
And
kid.
you know,
Yeah. That's a good mom.
Wanda wasn't with it.
Yeah.
But you know, by the time that Yasin came into the world, you know, they had, you know, watered it down a little bit.
Sure.
Yeah.
You know, they put the gloves on and
Yeah.
different things like that.
It's still
It's
vicious,
still,
even with the things they've done.
It's very vicious. But before you could really get hurt, you know, they intervene.
Yeah.
They'll stop it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a referee.
Yeah,
they
exactly.
really do. My wife, one of her guilty pleasures in life is watching MMA.
Really?
Oh yeah, I know, it's really weird. She's such a sweet human being. Like
Yeah.
my wife is so sweet, tenderhearted. She's a New Yorker, so she's got a little attitude every now and then, like from her in that past. But like she'll watch MMA and like think it's
Really?
fascinating.
I'm really interested
She
in
used to
that.
teach fitness classes at a gym in town, and like some of the people that also like trained in that gym loved MMA. So she like went to a fight with him one time. She's like, it's so
understand.
fascinating.
I like MMA too, and I kind of feel guilty because I said
It's a weird
my
thing.
child can't do it, but I like.
I'll watch other
Yeah,
people
yeah,
do it.
yeah.
Your kid can do it. I
Yeah,
can watch. I
right.
like it.
So it sounds like this really was born out of passion, but I know in the title of Iron Fist is also Learning Center. So I'd love to hear you talk about that too.
All right. Well, the learning center aspect is where we see the boxing was mainly just for my son. Okay.
Sure.
And once I seen that it was a tool for discipline and things of that nature, that's when I went out to grab other children. All right. And especially once we got our own gym, I told myself, I say, listen, I don't want to be known just for taking people's children and having them fight and mess their faculties up upstairs.
Sure.
All right. I want to educate them also. All right. And not just school wise. All right. Because they spend 8 hours a day in school anyway. So we definitely have tutors come out and help them on Tuesdays and Thursdays, Learning Center Day. All right.
Okay.
We have tutors come out and assist with homework, assist them in any subject that they might need a push in. We give them that push. But we also
You're good. That's fine.
Okay, but we also, teach them real life skills.
Okay.
All right, how to survive in the real world. All right, I take them through different scenarios as if I'm like, let's say Navy SEAL. Like that type of training mentally for me. All right. And I hope this don't go over nobody's head where like everything is structured. So I might teach, the children how to avoid, going to jail in certain situations. I might teach them if they're going to a local gas station and, it's local gang members in front of that gas station, but you still got to go in that gas station.
Sure.
How do you go in there? It's a certain way that you have to approach that situation in order to be able to come out of that gas station.
Yeah.
You don't want to be scared. It's just the way that you handle yourself. And we teach them how to handle themselves in all different situations, no matter what, because I have went to different college campuses for parties and things like that where violence broke out. Okay. And a lot of college students, they don't know how to react to it because, their parents never wanted to, they shield them away from that world.
Sure.
But when a situation happened, what are you going to do if you don't know what to do?
Yeah.
And it'd be a lot of those children that end up getting killed, because I have been at college campuses where shootings happened. Different things, I mean, it can happen anywhere.
Right.
I don't know if you guys heard about that, that one shooting where they was playing, I think it was in New York, if I'm not mistaken, and it was a Madden competition or whatever. Yeah, and then
He was in Florida.
It was Florida?
Yeah, I think so, maybe.
And then that one guy, he just started,
came in and
he was the actual guy who won the competition the year before.
and he was mad.
And but
Yeah.
it was signs and symbols there. Okay. I remember listening to some of the interviews where one of the guys, he said that this guy didn't shower for 2 days, 3 days. He would come with the same attire on and he wouldn't shake nobody's hand. People actually tried to shake his hand and he just left their hand out there. So it's always signs and symbols that lead up to these different acts. And I like to teach our children how to look for those signs and symbols. When you go into a room, always look for an exit. It's always an exit because anything can happen. I don't want our children to think that life is just, you could just walk through life with your head in the air and nothing is going to happen. You don't have to be a part of a problem, but you need to know how to solve a problem.
He's
And
definitely taught
that's
me.
what I teach.
That's
Preventative. When we first met, I'm like, why do you move the way you do? Why do you, what?
Sure.
So he's definitely
Yes.
about,
I mean,
Did you grow up in Kokomo? Okay.
She's born and raised here.
Me too.
Yes.
Yeah. And so, that's what the Learning Center brings to the table, education as far as school, all of my students, we have a couple right now that's lacking a little bit, but we on top of that. Last year, we had 100% turnover rate where if you had Fs, they came up to A's and B's. Like seriously. And one of my students, Annie Ellis, we call her the body snatcher.
What a nickname.
And she really earned it. I mean, she earned it and she lived by it. She's a very tough young lady. And she came to me through Dawn. Dawn is a probation officer. And she brought her to me. All right. And it was August 25th, to be exact, last year.
Okay.
And
So a little over a year ago. Or
yes.
a little, yeah.
And body snatcher was failing every grade.
Wow.
Okay. She was out in the streets, she was smoking weed, smoking cigarettes, drinking, just doing her thing, just living,
How old?
And she was 15,
Oh,
15, just having her way.
Sure.
Right. No structure. And Dawn brought her to me today. Totally different young lady.
Wow.
She respects herself. She respects life. She respects others. And she's an honor roll student. She gets great grades. She's getting rest at night because she knows she has to compete.
Sure.
There's no smoking. There's no drinking. I mean, the young lady have turned herself all the way around. So that is how I got the connection with Judge May. Because he is her judge for the probation department. And so once he seen the change in her, they just started feeding me the different children.
Wow.
Yes.
The way you talk about these kids makes me think they're all your sons and daughters.
Right, and no, that's how
treats
that's how I carry it. You know,
Yeah.
when they come to the gym, automatically you know that this is a family. All right, everyone get introduced to the whole team to break through the ice. You know, because when you come in, you see all of these children up in there, they hitting the bag and they looking mean and tough. You might come in a little like, oh, do I belong here?
Sure.
And instantly we make you feel welcome. You know, I stop everything and I tell everyone gather around. We introduce everyone and just break the ice, and so everyone could feel good about being here and acceptance. You know, so yeah,
Yeah,
they
that's
are
an
my
intimidating atmosphere to walk
children.
into,
Yeah, it is.
for sure.
It is.
Yeah.
It is. But you
I'm
know,
scared.
yes.
So why was it important to you to have Iron Fist not only be a boxing club and a gym, but also include this component of, I mean, this is like a holistic, I mean, your body's getting exercise, you're learning how to treat your body with respect, but that, what I'm hearing is that pours over into all areas of their lives, in their academics, in the way they're probably what they eat, what they put into their body, how they treat their body with rest. I mean, that it's incredible. Why did you decide to take that approach and not just have it be a boxing gym?
Well, I wanted to, you know, bring something new. All right. You can't make history if you do something that someone else is already doing. You know, you have to think outside of the box. So, you know,
No pun intended.
Yeah, I want to make.
Okay, that was good.
Yes, it was right. Punchline.
Yeah. Oh my God.
That's why I'm here.
This is my
Yes. But you know, I wanted to change things. I want to make history. You know, I want our children to be great. You know, I always dare them to be great, and I give them the stage and the platform to do that.
Wow.
You know, so we here to make history. You know, I want the children, like the children that's in our program, all of them are not going to be Olympians.
Sure.
All of them are not going to be world champions, but you can still be an Olympian and world champion in everyday living. In everyday life, you could be a champion in your own right, working your 9 to 5. You know, you could be a champion, because I like to use metaphors when I deal with boxing in life. All right. I said this the other day too. It's like a 12-round fight. Okay. You get knocked down in the first or the second round. Is the fight over? No, you get back up and you keep fighting. And that's the same thing in life. You go to the doctor and they come back in there after your blood work and they tell you, hey, I'm sorry, you have cancer. I mean, is your life over with right there? No. You can start eating right, you get the right treatment, and you can beat that. You have to keep fighting. You don't just lay down. It's not over. And that's why I do what I do, to give these children the heart, because it takes heart to fight. Okay, some people just, you know, get sick and just want to lay there and just die. No, keep fighting. Keep fighting no matter what. If you go to school and you're getting bad grades, do that mean that you're going to fail this grade? No. Get in them books and keep working.
Yeah.
Okay? Turn it around. It take one test to get that grade back up. All right? Because I see it all the time. I'll be sitting there looking like, hold on. You just had an A and now you have a D because you didn't do good on the test? But then flip side to that coin, if you have an F and you do great on that test, then your grades shoot up. So it's always a flip side. So I tell our children, be on the receiving end of those good grades.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes. You want to be the one that's getting the A's and the B's. So you have to stay at task. And like I was just telling you all before we cut the mics on, you have to be on point. You have to be on point. You have to stay at task. In boxing, there's no days off. There's no off season. Okay. So, and it's like that in life. You know, you can't have an off day. Some people do, but I'm saying, like, in my line of work, you know, we have to keep grinding. And even in your off day, what do you have to do? Take care of your business from the things that you've been trying to do, but you had to go to work. So some people take care of their laundry. Some people go grocery shopping. It's not really an off day.
There's always something to do.
It's always something to do.
Yeah.
So, you know, I just like to use those type of metaphors when I'm talking to my children to, you know, cut that light on in their head.
Yeah.
You know, and it works. It works. It really do work. You know, I was just talking to one of my partners today, Courtney Woodard, and he was telling me that his nephew has made a complete 360, okay, because he was giving his mom, which is his grandmother, Courtney mom, which is his nephew's grandmother, such a hard time. And she would call him all the time like, hey, you come get him out of here. You know, I can't deal with him. And he told me today that he have received no phone calls since his nephew got back into our program because he wants it. You know, and it's the structure, it's the knowledge and the wisdom that he is receiving in that building from us that make him know, I must love my grandmother. You know, I can't go home and give her a hard time. She is taking it. She don't have to raise me. You know, this is truly a blessing. And I make our children aware that when you stand with your grandparents and things like that, they don't have to do that. They don't, because they raised your mother or your father already. They did their job. Now, this is an extra thing. So you have to be very appreciative of that. And with him grabbing that concept, it makes him a better young man for not only himself, but his grandmother, his uncles, and his whole entire family. You know, and that made me feel very, very good and accomplished that Courtney called me and told me that. You know, it let me know that I'm doing my job.
That it's working.
Yes, it's working. It's really paying off, you know.
They say, I have a daughter in kindergarten, and like she started taking Spanish already. And they say younger brains is the best time to teach like a new language, because biologically we learn, or they can grasp onto that stuff a lot quicker, younger, rather than if you've spoken English for 20 years and then you try to learn it. I'm guessing a lot of things you teach, very similar. Structure, discipline. If you get those at a young age,
right,
that just becomes of who they are.
Later
on in adult life.
Yeah, as you were talking, I'm thinking, man, can we stay friends for 10 or 20 years? Because the future leaders in our community, you know, I don't know how old, a 13-year-old boy right now, that 15-year-old girl you were talking about, that young woman, 10 years from now, she's 25. She's a leader in our community. Maybe that's just at her 9-to-5 job or whatever that may be. 10 more years, maybe she's a mom and she's passing on these principles to her. I mean, I'm just thinking that, the domino effect that this will take in our community.
You're throwing the stone into the river, and we're going to see the ripples for years and years and years.
That's real. And, you know, with our children, you know, I mean, we have all ages and all demographics, okay? Like, you have white, black, Hispanic. I mean, it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
We deal with all nationalities. And that is
But even
so
teaching
awesome.
that at a young age.
Yes, that is so awesome because, you know, it breaks down the racism.
Yeah.
Right? You in here, you're training and you're competing with someone who looks like you, but y'all don't have the same skin tone. Okay? But you have a nose, you have ears, you have lips, so you look alike.
Yeah.
You just don't have the same skin tone. And I like to break right through that to where that stops the hate.
Unity.
All right.
Yeah.
We all about unity, and that's why we had Unity Day with Abby. All right, because it's about bringing people together. Because at the end of the day, we all people. We all put our pants on one leg at a time, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so we all people, and that's what I like to deal with. You know, like I want the world to be a better place for my grandchildren. You know, for my children. I like when I'm gone, because I want to. You know, I want my children to outlive me. Okay, so when I'm gone, I want to have done something right. I want to pass a righteous torch on. Okay.
Legacy.
Like, yes, legacy. That's exactly what it is. You know, and like in my gym, you have to say, yes, sir. No, sir. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Or you're doing 25 push-ups each and every time. Like, seriously, outside of your whole workout, you know, you come up to me and I tell you something and you like, okay, huh? Yeah, 25. And I don't even tell you nothing else. I walk past you, 25. And they get down and they do it. But now they are so, you know, on point to where it's yes, sir. No, sir.
Well, you're building a culture.
When they go home, that's what they're doing with their parents. And their parents are so overwhelmed. They thought that it was just going to be fighting. Yeah. You know, but when they
exercise,
see,
you know, something like that.
No, but now they know what we are doing is real legacy work and is, you know, building up our children to be productive in society. Yeah. That's what it's about. You know, like we have so much trouble going on in the world, you know, so many bad things that, you know, our children could get involved with due to the music and them trying to be down, you know, that it can consume them, it could take them under. It's so quick to lose your child. Okay, and I ain't just talking about death. I'm talking about to the streets.
Sure.
I'm talking about to
the world.
Exactly. It's so quick and fast that you can lose them. So I'm here to counter that. Okay, we're going to counter that right off the bat. We're going to teach them that you are somebody. You don't have to deal with peer pressure. You don't have to be down with nobody, because boxing is an individual sport. When you get in that ring, you by yourself.
I mean, you're teaching these kids they have worth.
That's right.
Yes.
I mean, that's the biggest lesson, I think, is like
Big time.
kids are growing up in a world where their worth matters how many Instagram likes they get, or how many, whatever it is on the internet, or what cool clothes they're wearing. I mean, you're teaching them you have worth, and I'm going to prove it to you.
That's right.
By kicking your butt in the gym and showing you what you can do.
And the majority of them people on IG and Facebook, I mean, they all be phony. The people that our children, think that is somebody, that's not who they are.
It's a character.
That's right. You know, you don't have to try to be like someone else. Be yourself. Be the best you. All right. And that's all that matter. We don't deal with wins and losses in our gym. Okay. Of course, we want to win. Of course, that is the goal. But we don't say you lost if you take a L. The L in our gym mean you learned. Okay, you got a learning lesson. And whatever you learned from that particular, altercation, then guess what? You take that, you go back to the drawing board, and when you come back in that ring, you're going to do better. All right? You didn't lose. Don't go home with your head down feeling bad for yourself. You learned something. Okay, you learned to duck next time, right?
Yeah, right.
And learning is one of the biggest wins you can have.
That's right.
Is learning something new.
That's right.
Every time you face something.
Every time. Every single
Where
time.
did you come from?
Yeah.
Like, what was your childhood like? I mean, where did all this
my childhood
motivation, goodness?
Because the way that I was raised, my grandmother raised me and my brothers, all right, and like it wasn't always green in my grass. Okay, I've been through a lot. And that's what make me do what I do, because I don't want our children to suffer the same fate that me and my brothers did.
Yeah.
Okay. When I came to Kokomo, I didn't come to Kokomo in the mind frame that I'm coming to do some good. In 2000, I was a product of my environment. Okay. Straight from the streets. And I came to hustle. I'm going to keep it real with y'all. And that's why my parents and my children respect me so much, because I keep it real and I can relate to them. I was a have-not.
Yeah.
Like, bottom line, I didn't have a lot of different things, so I had to go to the streets to get it. And
you were the kid that now needs Iron Fist.
that's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's right. I was him.
Yeah.
I was him. And so I know what our children need, and that's what makes me so effective, because I'm so in tune with them. Like in school, that's why before we started this, I got a phone call from the school.
Yeah.
Because, they know that things that our children say won't go over my head.
Sure.
You can't fool me. Like, I know what you're talking about. I could look at them and be like, I know what you're thinking. I know what's on your mind, because I used to have that same look. So, I want to help our children not go to the penitentiary. I want to help our children, not go to an early grave. I want to help them make the right decision. I always use this as an example. I don't know if you guys seen Boys in the Hood.
Yeah.
Seen Boys in the Hood?
I have.
Okay.
Have you?
I think I'm too young for it.
Oh, thanks.
No. But no, in Boys in the Hood, it was a character in there named Trey, okay? And you had Doughboy and Ricky, okay? Trey and Ricky, no, it was Doughboy and Ricky. They were brothers, okay? And Ricky ended up getting killed, okay? And so Doughboy, now Trey was Ricky's best friend. So Doughboy and Trey got together. They was finna go out and get the guys that got Ricky. And they riding in the car. It was a 6'4" Impala, they had the drop top, and they riding. And Trey was sitting in the back seat, and he was just thinking to himself like, this is not who I am. And it wasn't. It wasn't. Trey was a good guy. And he said, Doe, pull over. Let me out. And Doe and the rest of the guys turned around and looked at him like, what you mean? He was like, let me out, Doe. I'm out. And Doe pulled over and let him out. And Trey went home, okay? And that saved his life. getting out of that vehicle, because everybody else that was in that vehicle, they all died. You know, Doughboy a couple of weeks later died, and they went on and completed their mission, what they was going to do to begin with. But Trey got out of the car. And that's what I tell my children, not only my children at home, but the children of the community. It's okay to be Trey. It's all right to be Trey.
It's okay to get out of the car.
It's okay to get out that car.
Yeah.
You know, it's okay not to walk up in that store and rob it with your buddy. That's okay to tell him, you know what? This not for me.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, why are we doing this to begin with? Oh, we need some money. Hey, man, let's go get a job then. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's okay to be the game changer. It's okay to be a change agent. That's all right. That doesn't make you lame. To me, what make you lame is to do 100 years in the penitentiary. That's lame.
Your follower.
Because, you know, here it is. How can you be a grown man with children and you going to jail? What about your daughter? Who's going to protect her? Who? What about your son? Who's going to give him the different qualities that he needs in order to be productive and then continue your family legacy? Do you want to pass a penitentiary torch? Is that the torch that you want to hand on to your family? So I'm here to break that. I'm here to break that cycle, because in our community, and when I say our community, I'm talking about the Black community. You know, that is the torch that has been handed down for generations and generations. It's what we call a generational curse. So I am here to help break that curse. Okay. And not only just in our community, but all communities, because it exists everywhere. It has started to funnel into all communities. Like, you know, you have people that just want to be down. You know, but this is not your background. This is not your culture. This is not what you come from. This is not what your grandmother and your mother and them laid down. So what are you doing? You know, and I let those children also know, listen, be yourself. You know, you don't have to try to be like him. That's what they do. You know, do what you do.
And I think even a step before that, you're teaching them who they are.
That's right.
Yeah.
You know, it's an easy thing, be yourself, but a lot of kids, young age, they're trying to figure out who they actually are.
Right.
They don't know how to be themselves, because until they figure out who they actually are, and you're helping them do that, because your true self comes out when you're put in moments of like hardship.
That's right.
That's you.
That's
That's
right.
how you figure. And like, is there anything more hard than like putting in a ring with somebody and like that person wants to beat you up and you got to fight for yourself? You got to figure out who you are in that moment.
You never know who you are until you're tested.
Yeah.
Okay. Until you go through certain situations, that's when you realize, okay, I can do this. Or, wow, I didn't know that I could make it through that. Wow, I got hit pretty hard and I kept fighting.
Yeah.
So, you know, it builds character. It builds character within you. And you're 100% right, Drew. You're 100%. You hit that on the head.
Yeah.
You hit that on the head.
So let's talk about, I guess, the business side of it.
Okay.
Obviously you're a nonprofit.
Yes.
How does that work? Do you have community partners that you're working with? Do you charge for lessons in some situation? I mean, how's that work?
Now we have we ask for donations. Everything is about donations.
Okay.
You're 100% donation
Yes.
ran?
Yes,
Wow.
we're about donations. And so we ask the parents for a $60 donation a month.
Okay.
And
That's their
if they-
membership? Okay.
Basically. And if they're not able to do it, we don't send their children home.
Yeah.
We keep them in there and we continue to train. Like the majority of my children in the gym right now, parents are not able to pay because they have more than one child at home.
Sure.
So, you know, it's hard to go and buy boxing shoes, boxing gloves, and this and that for this child when we need, you know, shoes for school.
Yeah.
Sure.
So I buy so many pair of boxing shoes and gloves and different things like that for the children right out of my own pocket. And sometimes this is real. Sometimes, you know, my own household suffer. You know, because I know I'm doing something for the greater good. So I'll, you know, make a couple of moves or do whatever I have to do, you know, to continue to pay my bills at home. But it's a struggle sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, because I'm putting everything into the gym and into the community, children. So that's why I be asking, you know, the community, come on, pull together. You know, we have to do this together. If we don't stand together, then what? You know, I'll just keep fighting this battle myself. You guys seen 300? Exactly. I'm like Leonidas. So,
That's my wife's guilty pleasure in MMA. Movies like that are my guilty pleasure.
Right, you know,
all day.
Yes.
Those like White House Down movies, like any cheesy action flick, I'm there all day. I don't know, they're horrible, but like I love them.
Yeah, so I like to look at myself like Leonidas because, you know,
That's a good person to look at yourself like.
Yes, because we're
You picked a winner there.
We're gonna go no matter what. No, you see what they was up against, but he had to come up with a strategy, and you know he had a plan, and it worked. It worked for so long. You know, now if they would have just went into that just 300 strong, they're going against thousands of different individuals at a time. But they planned, their strategy made them overcome. And that's how I look at what we're doing. No matter if I get the finance from the community or not, we're going to do what we have to do.
And this is how Coach's mind has always worked.
Yes, because when
I mean, you're an entrepreneur, sir.
Yes,
like that's what you are.
Big
I mean,
facts.
yes,
Big
big
facts.
facts.
Big facts.
Yeah, like what you're describing is an entrepreneur.
Because when I left the Carver Center, all right, you know, I didn't know what I was going to do.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't know how it was going to happen, you know, because the reason why we left the Carver Center is Dante didn't want us to go out of town anymore. He didn't want us to leave the state.
Sure.
Now, how can we, you know, do anything on a national level if we can't leave the state?
Sure.
But then we're going to be competing against national level children who travel the country all the time. So we're setting our children up for failure. That's how I looked at it. So without any hesitation, I said, okay, it was real. It was fun. It was nice. You know, no hard feelings, shook hands. Just let me have our books and we'll go do our own thing. Now, I had no clue. I didn't have a ring. I didn't have a building. I didn't have anything. I say, but we're going to do this. You know, we was in the garage. We was in, you know, Ed Merriweather's garage, like freezing. The parents, they believed in what I was doing so much that the parents was in there with us with earmuffs on, and you could see your breath. You know what I mean? Like seriously, and they're right there with us.
Hey, you're in good company. A lot of the largest tech companies in the world also started in a garage.
Yes,
garages are great places to start businesses.
Like for real.
Well, it's real. And it's a great analogy too of like you can't let for an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm sitting between two. If you have a passion and something that you don't have a building, you don't have a ring, but you make it happen.
You make it happen.
Yeah.
Because you have a vision.
Yeah.
You have a goal. And I never even, I'm being so serious with you guys. I never looked at it like, what am I going to do? Like, oh my goodness, I'm not going to be able to do this. Like, oh man.
It's like you always knew.
I knew that it was going to happen regardless. Okay. And no one believed. They didn't believe. They like, okay, now what are you going to do, buddy? But,
Congrats, you got a garage. What are you going to do now?
Right? So, you know, we just kept on striving and, you know, we stayed, you know, prayed up and, you know, we kept our faith and we kept moving. You know, like I say, it's a 12-round fight. That was just one round.
Yeah.
You know, that was just one round. And, you know, we left, it was October 25th. We left the Carver Center. And by December 1st, we was opening up the doors to IronFists Boxing Club.
Wow.
Yes, because, you know, good people seen what we was doing and knew that we didn't want that outlet to die. We don't want this to stop. You know, we have to nurture this. We have to water this seed, you know, because I planted a seed and that seed needed water. It needed sunlight in order to grow, you know, and I look at myself as a concrete rose. Okay. I come straight up out of the concrete, like seriously, and I will grow in any terrain, any condition. I'm going to grow. You know, I don't need the grass. I don't need the, you know, the soil to grow. I'll grow right out the concrete. And that means that I'm going to make it happen regardless. And that's what we're doing.
There's no other choice.
There's no other choice.
There's no other option. And when you get that vision, you get that idea. I mean, if you're really there, nothing matters. It's going to happen at some point.
That's
sure,
right.
we might take some L's, learning lessons, as you said.
Big facts.
But I mean, it's going to happen.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's happening now. It's happening now. And, you know, I feel so good about what we're doing. You know, we're competing all over the country. This Saturday, we're going to Louisville, Kentucky for competition. I'm taking 4 of our children, and they will be competing down there. Then the following weekend, the 28th of September, we'll be in Toledo, Ohio, competing again. And then October 5th through the 12th, we'll be in Columbus, Ohio for a national tournament, a week-long tournament. All right. Now, the children are in school, so USA Boxing is so awesome. All right. They send out letters to the school for our children, asking them, can they please excuse them, and send all of the work, because they have tutors on location.
Oh, wow.
Yes, they have tutors on location. They have study halls and the whole nine. So while the children are competing, on your off time, you will be doing homework. All right. Yeah. So,
Wow.
We're not going to miss a beat.
Yeah.
We're not going to miss a beat. Yep. And the schools actually love it because there's no boxing in school. You have basketball and different sports in school, but, boxing wasn't as privileged to get into the school systems.
Well, it has that connotation of just violent.
Violent, right?
Wrestling, I guess, is similar. But
I was just going to say, wrestling is really no different.
Right.
It's a full contact sport. You are engaging with another, student, and y'all trying to defeat each other.
Yeah.
So, it comes with strategy. It comes with, your physical, just like boxing. You have to have, and why I love boxing so much, because it's a thinking sport. Okay, boxing is not for no, person who don't have no sense. And people might think that, only
it's just brawn, no brain.
No. You have to have brains, because you have to be thinking, well, I don't want to get hit. So I have to slip, I have to roll, I have to dodge, and then I have to be able to counter you.
Yeah.
It's a lot of different things that come along with boxing. And you have to have boxing IQ. You have to have it. And, it's like chess. All right. You have to, make moves. And, it's all about making moves ahead of things. Okay. You have to set it up. That's why we have something called a jab. Your jab sets up your combinations. So, the children have to learn so much. You have to download so much information in order to get in the ring. And we get a lot of children that come straight out the streets and they think they bad. They think they're super tough. Oh, they come in there, they looking at people like, oh, he wear glasses. Oh, I'm going to beat him up. And then you get in that ring with that same child that have on them glasses, and he put you on your butt, because skills pay the bills.
Yeah.
Yes. In boxing, it ain't about how tough you are. It's not about how big you are or how strong you are. It's about who's the smartest.
Size can actually be a downfall.
It can, because, I could take your attributes and turn them against you. Okay. If I'm that intelligent, why you think Floyd Mayweather never lost a fight? Because, and he fought all of the best of the best, and he fought people that was bigger than him. He took what you do good and turned it against you. Okay. And did you come here with a plan A, a plan B, and a plan C? You just came with A. So now that I took A away from you and you don't have B and C, guess what? Now I'm finna get on this bike and I'm finna ride you down. That's how it goes. Yeah.
Wow.
So, Coach, our podcast exists to help small business owners. I'd love to hear some of your best tips and tricks. If there's someone out there listening who has a passion, maybe different than your passion, what would you recommend that they do to lead them on a path of success? Whether it's starting a restaurant, starting another nonprofit, what are some things that you've used in your life and in your journey that have helped you be successful?
Consistency.
Okay.
Consistency. No matter what you do in life, you have to be consistent at it. You can't have a thought of opening up a restaurant, but then you only going to be there 2 days out the week, and you expect for somebody else to get it up and running. But this is your passion. This is your vision. You have to be on location. You have to be consistent at everything that you do. So the advice that I could give anyone who wants to start a small business or, create an avenue for yourself, just be consistent. Okay, put the work in. You get out what you put in. Bottom line, you want to work hard work and dedication. That's what I can offer anyone, because that's what was given to me. Those tools was given to me, and it works. It works. You get out what you put in.
It's good. Okay. We ask every small business owner who comes on the podcast or nonprofit the same question, and I'm really excited to hear your answer. Also, Do you have a church? I feel like you could start a church.
Definitely a gifted leader.
Yeah, I mean, we've known each other for less than 2 hours, and I'm really inspired. I'm really grateful for our conversation today.
Thank
you. We ask every guest the same question. It's kind of a play on our name. What is one small thing in your life that you've done that has contributed to your success? And this could be anything: a habit, a decision, could be funny, could be very serious. Anything, some small thing in your life that you do that's contributed to your success.
Something small that I do that contribute to my success, I would say, I'm just consistent. I'm just being
it's good.
real.
Yeah.
I'm just consistent. When I'm laying in the bed and I don't want to get up, I get up. Okay.
I was going to answer that for him.
There's no days off for me.
You're driven.
Yes, I am. I really am. So, that's what helped me do what I do.
Where does that come from?
Consistent. It comes from not having nothing. It comes from not having nothing and, having hungry days, having days where me and my brothers have to share clothes. It comes from, waking up in the morning and have to go to school with no breakfast. I come from that type of background where I didn't have anything. And, so me and my brothers, we had to share everything. And that's what gave me the brotherhood. That's what gave me why I'm so family oriented, is because me and my brothers always stuck together. Like, I talk to my blood brothers every single day.
That's awesome.
I'm 42. Okay, have a brother that's 43, have a brother that's 44, have a brother that's 41, have a brother that's 39, have a brother that's 38, and so on and so on. I have younger brothers under them, but we talk every single day, 2-3 times a day, like seriously. And we feed off of each other.
They have great minds too.
Yes, we feed off of each other all the time. I remember we was young and we used to sit there looking out the window and we would watch all of the cars ride by and we'd be like, that's my car. That's my car. That's my car. We played That's My Car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because we didn't have a car. Like, seriously. So I'm driven from not having nothing and wanting to have something and wanting to be a part of something, wanting to help others have something, because I know it's so many children out there who are suffering from that same faith, who have these same situations and circumstances. And I want to let them know it's okay. It's going to be all right. You have someone here that will fight for you inside, outside of the gym. I'm there for you no matter what. I have bought groceries for some of my children who was having hard times at home. And I'm not saying that to brag or anything, but I'm saying that just to say that that's how much I care.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. And I don't ask for no recognition, none of that. I never, like, when I was at the center, I never wanted to be in the limelight. I was a volunteer over there. Okay. I never got paid a dime. When we go out of town, it's my dime. So I'm just me. And this is who I am. This is who the Creator put me on earth to be. And I don't claim no specific location. Like, I'm from Chicago. That's why I was born. But, earth is my turf. Wherever the concrete take you, that's where I'm from, because I'm not afraid to go there. I'm not afraid to, go into the roughest neighborhood and speak my mind. I'm not afraid to go to, the best neighborhood and blend in, because I like to call myself catch weight. I can go up or down. And when it comes to speaking to, our elders, I can speak to them and relay their message to the youth, because, that's a big gap.
Sure. Yeah. It keeps getting bigger too.
Yes, it does. Because the older people, the older generation, they look at the younger generation like, I don't want to deal with them. They're just this, they're just that. And the younger generation look at the older generation like, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, whatever. So I'm catch weight. I can go up top or down low. And I'm going to be able to, bring the message from up top down to the youngers. And then once I give it to the youngins, then they can accept it from me because they know I was you. And they look at me like, yes, coach, you was me. And I'm going to be just like you. No, you're going to be better than me. You're going to be better than me because I'm going to give you the tools. I'm going to give you the stage. I'm going to give you the platform to do that because I dare you to be great. I dare you to be great. And guess what? Here you go. Here's your tools and resources. Now get busy. And they respect that. They respect that because I'm not just talking the talk. I'm walking the walk. I get out there with them. You know, they see me when they're in trouble. Hey, guess what? I'm here for you. I'm right here for you. I'm right here with you. Now, I don't condone no nonsense, and I'm very serious. I have a real military style of training, okay? Like, when you come in, I want y'all to come in my gym and just sit back and just watch, you know. Take the time and come in there and just watch, and you will see how I train. Like, it's very serious. It's very militant, but it's effective, and we show love. When the children walk through the door, it's a must that you find me, and you come. We have our own handshake. We do our handshake, and I hug each and every child coming in and leaving because there's no guarantee that I'll see you tomorrow. Just being real, it's no guarantee. Anything could happen at any time. So the last thing that you will be able to say is, Coach had love for me. I love Coach. You know, he showed me real love. And that's my thing. That's the first point, love. Okay? That's what we spread. I reinforce love. Because that was the first thing that we learned as being babies, as children, is how to love from our parents.
He makes them say, I love myself.
Yes. All of my itty-bitty boxers, 4 through 6.
Best program name of all time, by the way.
Yes, I love it, right? I make them say it. They say, I love myself, I love myself, I love myself. Because if you love yourself, then guess what? You are less hesitant. You're going to hesitate to go out and do something crazy because you love yourself.
It's that worth.
You know who you are.
You can't show others love until you find out what love is yourself.
Exactly. So, you know, you have to have self-love, and that in return will make you not go and do certain things to your body, you know, tear yourself down because you love yourself. Yeah. You know, and that's just what I love to bring to the table to our community. You know, I want to uplift fallen humanity. You know, that is so important to me, is to uplift fallen humanity to where, you know, you can go anywhere and, you know, there is not no mean mugs, you know, people not looking at you all lopsided. No, you know, hey, how you doing? How's your day? Okay, nice. And keep it moving. You know, that's me. You know, I done been in the roughest of neighborhoods, the roughest of states and all of that. And I get the mean mugs if I'm going into a store or something, and, you know, it's 5, 6, 7 guys standing right in front of the store. I'm not one who's going to, I'm not going to this store. Let me go to another one. No, this is the store that I was going to go to. And when I walk past them, hey, how you doing, beloved? Hey, how y'all doing? All right. You know, show some love, shake some hands, and go on up in there. You know, because you break through that ice.
Influence.
But if I chose to just walk past them and mean mug them too, then it's going to be a confrontation. You know, first thing they want to know, who is you? You know, you ain't from over here. But it's all on how you carry yourself. You know, you carry yourself high. You carry yourself with certain standards. Then people will also carry you that way. You know, and that's me. And that's what I teach our children, those same circumstances, because you never know what situation that life will put you in. You can be in any situation at any given time. You leave the house on one mission and it could turn into another mission, snap of a finger. And what are you going to do? You have to know how to move. Okay. And I like to use these different, you know, phrases like, I know how to move in a room full of wolves. I know how to move in a room full of scientists. It doesn't matter what room you put me in. I'm going to know how to move. I'm going to know how to speak. I'm going to know when to speak. All right. And that is what I like to twinkle down to our children.
That's EQ, right? It's IQ is intellectual intelligence. It's ironic that I couldn't say that word, right? And EQ is emotional intelligence. Yeah. And you're extremely high EQ. You know people. You know how to move around.
Yeah. Big facts. You know, though, I mean, that's one of my greatest attributes, you know, is to be able to talk to people. All right. To be able to relate to people. All right. I don't feel that I'm better than no one. And I tell my children that all the time. You know, I'm your coach. I'm your mentor, but I'm no better than you. You know, we equal. I'm just a teacher right now. And you are the student. Okay. You have to be a good listener before you could be a what? Good speaker. So you have to listen. And that's what I teach them. Listen to what I'm teaching you right now. And then one day you will be in the driver's seat. Right now you're in the passenger seat. You know, take the ride. Okay. One day you're going to be driving. Okay. But you have to know how to drive.
Yeah.
So with you sitting on the side of me, getting this knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because I don't understand. Okay. I don't understand. I overstand. All right. Like I don't say sorry. I say I apologize, because just think, I'm sorry. Oh, you're a sorry person, huh? And that's what I teach our children. Don't say you're sorry. Say you apologize. One word changes a sentence. You have to be careful on what you put in the universe. You have to be careful on the words that you say, because words are very powerful.
Yeah.
Words are very powerful. And I teach our children that. And they'd be looking at me like, wow, coach, okay, yeah, I'm not sorry. I'm not a sorry person. You're right. You're right. You're a very bright person.
Yes.
You have a purpose in life, and you will meet that. You will. No matter what, you are going to be who you're supposed to be. You are who you say you are. You are who you want to be. So if you fall short in life, it's because of you.
That's good. You are who you want to be.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. No matter what. If you want to be a knucklehead, you're going to be a knucklehead. If you want to be a doctor, you're going to be a doctor. All of the doctors out here in this world today, they wanted that. So they went to school for that. The teachers, they wanted to be a teacher. So right now they're teaching. I wanted to be who I am right now, and that's who I am. I have always been this person. It was just steps leading up to this. And the things that I went through in life made it possible for me to be this person right now.
Yeah.
I could not be Coach Law if I did not get shot. Okay. I could not be Coach Law if I did not, grow up in the neighborhood that I grew up in. I could not be this person. I needed all of that armor. I needed those things in order to be effective the way that I am. Now, maybe I could have done some other things in life, but this is what the Creator wanted me to do.
Yeah.
This is right here because, like I say, I have not always been Coach Law. I was a whole different person.
You earned it.
I did.
And he may not have the degrees, but I always say he holds many different titles. I always said he could have been a psychiatrist. He's already a mentor, a teacher, a leader. There's been times where I'd roll over at 4:00 in the morning on many different nights, and he's on the phone because somebody has a problem. So it just kind of comes natural for him.
Yeah, I'm concierge to a lot of people.
Yeah.
Yeah, like seriously. Like, my phone rings off the hook all the time, and she was saying that on the way in. She said, well, I hope when I'm recording you that your phone don't keep interrupting. Because I'm always helping somebody. Whether, and it's not always financially. It's more with me, my words of wisdom, like, if you ready to jump off a ledge, well, let me talk you off of that ledge. Yes. Like I deal with these type of individuals, somebody is ready to quit their job. Well, what you going to do when you quit? Do you have another job lined up? Do you have something else to do? How many bills do you have at home before you quit? So I just like to bring reality back around the corner, because some people, they could walk around the corner from reality. And I like to bring you right back around that corner.
He
and
has
let you
the ability
face it.
to just take somebody and just lift them up out of the darkest places with his words, and that's what I love about it.
And I mean, I was blessed. I am blessed.
I'm so happy. We talk about self-awareness a lot. I'm so happy you became aware to that.
Yes.
And the gift that you've been given.
I am too. I am.
It is so sad to me to think that people have also had this gift and they never realize it.
Right.
And we talked about those ripples that are now happening because of you. Those ripples couldn't happen without that self-awareness first and realizing like what gift you've been given and actually acting on it.
Right.
So happy that's happening.
Right. And I sit back and I just thank the Creator so much because I could be in a lot of different places right now. One of them being a penitentiary. Now, I don't have any felonies. I don't have any felonies, and I grew up in Chicago. I've been a part of a lot of different things, but the Creator had a different plan for me. He knew that it was work to be done. It was work that only I can do. All right. And in this particular community, you have a lot of activists. You have a lot of role models and mentors. But let's get active then. Get off the couch. Let's go because the community needs us. I'm not the only one who is capable of doing these things, but I am one of the only ones who are doing it.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a big difference between those two
It
statements.
is
Yeah.
big.
Wow. Well, thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being a part of this. I mean, if you're listening to this and not feeling better about life, the volume wasn't high enough.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, but thank you for being here. First of all, just thank you also for what you're doing for our community.
Truly.
Appreciate that.
And I know a lot of people in the shoes that you're in, you don't hear that enough. It's a lot of people don't actually take this time to like say thank you.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you for what you're doing for the youth in my hometown, the city I call home. It means a lot.
Yeah.
Thank you for being an inspiration as an entrepreneur, someone that realizes the vision they have and acts on it. Thank you.
You're more than welcome. You know, it's from the heart. It's all from the heart. And you guys could come and join us on Facebook at IronFists Boxing Club and also Law Hajar. I would love for you guys to follow us, and you will be able to walk the same path with us as we out of state competing at these different events, these different shows and tournaments. You know, when we in the gym training, all of our whole life, our legacy is always televised. We always put it on social media. You know, we are the ones who are going to put something positive on social media, not the negativity. So you can follow us and you can see what we do, and you can assist if you want to. You know, we right now we have a GoFundMe page on Facebook. We're trying to raise $1,500 to go to Columbus, Ohio, in order to compete in this national tournament. Now, $1,500 is not going to make it happen. It's going to help because we have to be there for a week, and we're taking 4 of our children with us, and 2 of them being females, and they have to have their own room. So I have to bring chaperones along in order to put them in the room with the females. Okay, so the hotels is $800 a piece.
Sure.
All right, so $1,500 is not even going to cover the hotel rooms, and we're not even talking about rental cars and food and equipment and things like that. So, I just ask for a small donation from our community in order to continue to do the great work that we are doing.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely.
Well, Small Success Podcast listeners, I mean, once again, Coach Law, we appreciate you. We respect you. We thank you for the work you're doing on behalf of us, but also for the future of our community. I mean, this is invaluable. So I will have all the ways you can find him and Iron Fist Boxing Club and Learning Center linked in the show notes below. You can click on those. That'll take you to everywhere he is on the internet. And as always, you can find us over at LarisonMedia.com. Thanks so much, and we will see you next time.
peace and love. Guns down, gloves up.